Hey guys, and welcome back to another video. Today we want to take a look at one of the World Championship bases we built for the event, and I will give away this base with the link. I will try to explain a bit more how we tested those bases, how you guys can set your traps in your own bases properly, because I think that's the biggest thing right now. The layout itself is important, but even more important is the trap placement. And well, this is basically the plan for today's video, so I hope you guys enjoy it. But before we start with the explanation, just a short reminder: if you guys want to support me, go into your settings, onto more settings, and then you can scroll down to this creator boost. And if you want to support me and do any in-game purchases in this game, use the creator code iTzu. It would support me. And well, one quick reminder as well: you have to activate or refresh the code every 7 days, which is a little bit annoying, but well, that's how it works. Sorry for that, but thank you so much for your support. The next thing is, if you want to have more layouts in Clash of Clans, like war layouts, etc., make sure to check out our Twitter, especially the Twitter of Vale and so our main base builders at the moment. So give those guys a follow. Make sure to hit the follow button over there, because we shared over there a couple of more layouts, not only this one, which I will explain today on YouTube, but a couple of more layouts you guys can see over here, and they posted all of the links down below. So make sure to follow Vale and Iron on Twitter to, well, get a bit of more layouts, more links, and more fresh bases. But for now, let's take a look at this base and how you guys can pretty much get your bases on the top level with placing the traps correctly. The first thing is, let's go through a couple of most obvious entries and strategies and try to place the traps against this. Which means we go through a couple of strategies and I will show you guys how to defend those. But for doing this, let's go into the scout view and I will try to explain a bit more in depth. Without knowing as an attacker where those traps are, let's talk about Queen Charge Hawk Riders as an example. What are the main priorities for taking out, or for going into a base if you want to do a Queen Charge Hawk Rider attack? First thing is, you have to take out the enemy heroes. Like, the Queen is the most important thing. After that, King is really important as well. And if you could get like the Eagle or the Tunnel in addition as well, that would be even better. Which means we can see it's really like a lot of valuable defenses are at the bottom of the base, which means at the top there's not too much. Like, we can draw pretty much a line over here, and then we can see on the right side it's more about the defenses you want to take out with the Queen Charge, which means most of the players would Queen Charge over there. So let's think about a couple of possible Queen Charges, and those you guys have to test. First Queen Charge is, if you Queen Charge into this compartment and then jump over here, you get access of all of those 4 important, really important defenses, like the Queen, the King, the Town Hall, and even the Eagle, which means you can take out even Inferno Tower, which means it's a lot of value over there. The next option is to Queen Charge over here. You would get once again the Inferno Tower, the Eagle, King and Queen, and the Town Hall if you jump over here. This means both Queen Charges could an attacker, those are the Queen Charges an attacker could try if he's going for Hawk Riders. Obviously, someone could come in from over here and try something really weird, but those are the 2 really obvious Queen Charge Hawk Rider entries. And even if someone is going in from over here, you could test it, but this Inferno Tower is just too annoying because all of the healers would get roasted. But those are the 2 really obvious Hawk Rider entries, or the Queen Charge entries, which means we can draw a line, and the right side is taken out by the Queen Charge, this side is taken out by the Hawk Riders. So let's take a look at the base without the traps. And this is what happens. All of the 8 spring traps are on the left side. We have spring trap, 2 spring traps, even more spring traps. So all of the spring traps are stacked on the left side just against those Queen Charge Hawk Rider attacks, because it's kind of obvious bait. And this is why Hawk Riders are so weak, because if someone would actually see, okay, you get pretty much anything or everything with this Queen Charge for Hawk Riders, so you take the eagle out, you take the town hall out, both heroes, Inferno Tower, this is perfect. Well, it's not, because all of the traps are on the other side. This is the big issue with Hawk Riders. But there are more strategies than just Hawk Riders. So let's take a look at a couple of other strategies. The next thing is, for example, P.E.K.K.A. Smash. With P.E.K.K.A. Smash, and once again, if you're testing your bases, you can only test the default, basically the default ideas. Which means, obviously, you could go crazy, like a really crazy queen charge, and then P.E.K.K.A. Smash and I don't know what, but you can't really test it. Like if it's obvious, like if you have an idea on the base, you can try it, and if you think someone else could see it as well, yes. But except that, you have to go for the default entries. And the default entry is like, what is the classic thing you do if you do a P.E.K.K.A. Smash? The classic thing what you do is a queen walk into the, like, in front of the town hall, then go in with your ram or a jump spell, and then jump even deeper. That's how you do it normally. And if you take a look at this base with this idea, the most obvious thing is to do a queen walk like this, funnel over here, and then jump even deeper. You could use the ram, or you could use a jump spell over here, that's totally up to you. But what is the back end? What is the part behind the town hall? And that's where it's getting really annoying. Let's say you're using the normal double jump without the ram P.E.K.K.A. Smash, because that's way stronger at the moment. Which means you would use the slammer probably over here. The slammer would die really quickly because of the black mine, because all of the Tesla is popping up, so it's super annoying for you as an attacker. The next thing is, there's a tornado trap in the middle of the base, which makes it super annoying for your P.E.K.K.A. to actually get deeper, and at the same time your healers are getting rotated in, all of the air defenses starting to shoot, so this is really annoying as well. Which means, as an attacker, you could try this entry, but it won't triple as far as I know, and if we hopefully test it right. If you're not using the slammer, if you're using the ram for this entry, you won't get even further because, well, you do not have anything to actually enter the Inferno Towers. The next thing what you could do, and which is kind of popular, and maybe not default, but kind of popular as well, is if there are compartments next to the town hall like this or this, you could try to queen walk into those and then pretty much make sure to clean around the town hall and then use only the slammer to take off the town hall. That's another option as well with P.E.K.K.A. Smash. You do not always have to go for the town hall. But if you do this, like this is the most, like the more obvious one, and then jump over here, maybe then over here, the problem for you is that the boulders which are standing over here will activate the town hall with bouncing onto the expo, which is super annoying. And then you have to use the slammer. The slammer will kind of quickly die because of the black mine, and you won't get too much value in your boulders, etc. Like will die as well because once again the centralized thunder trap. So this is really annoying for P.E.K.K.A. Smash. But once again, there are more strategies out there. So let's try once again to take a look at the default armies, or like the default ways on how to do those. The next thing is Lalo. Right now the strongest army which you can possibly get. Queen Charge is a bit stronger in my opinion than Sui Lalo, but still just super powerful right now. The first thing you have to make sure that you never have a red mine in the range of your air defense, because if you're tapping onto an air defense, this is kind of the range of how lava pops, or like in general, the hound will explode and throw out their lava pops. This is kind of the range if you tap onto an air defense, which means in a range of an air defense, there should be never a red bomb, because otherwise the red bomb will be triggered by a lava pop, which means it's totally wasted because you want to have those red bombs hitting those balloons. That's the case where your red bombs are really valuable and can get the most of it. And once again, if we tap all of those ranges, there's nothing in there. The only exception is on this air defense. There's on the edge in red bomb, but this is normally not getting triggered. So this is the red bomb placement, but now let's take a look at possible entries for Lalo and then what they would get, for example. For everyone who's doing queen charges, especially queen charge Lalo, a possible entry is over here. Why is that the case? Because you can kind of easily funnel if you don't know the Tesla farm over here, because if you take those two buildings out, the funnel is pretty much set. And then the queen could actually just go into the base, king can funnel over here, and then, because this is where it gets complicated, is you can wall break those two walls to get even deeper into the core of the base. Team Kesso did this attack and tried it, and I would say, why not, like, we should just try to take a look at their attack and figure out what went wrong, why is this base this good, and then you guys can use the link to get better results in your next Clan War League season. So let's take a look at the attack. Okay, this is what Team Kesso did in the match for number 3, and most of you guys should know Team Kesso is one of the best, if not the best clan at doing Queen Charge Lalo. They're doing mainly only Queen Charge Lalo, but just because they're that good at it, which means if a base is defending Queen Charge Lalo against them, that means a lot. So let's take a look at how Fat is doing this from Team Kesso. And he's doing the exact same charge as I told you guys. He's charging into the base, and now they're the next layer wall breakers, which is super hard to do, but like I said, they're the best at it. So they get those wall breakers done. They get into the core, and so far it's looking good. I think if you would ask any pro player, like any player right now who's understanding Queen Charge Lalo, they would say this is looking like a triple. But 1 second, we will take a look, or like we will come back on that in a second, because there are a couple of really nice things in this base. Even though this Queen Charge is kinda, once again, obvious for most of the Queen Charge Lalo players, it's getting a little bit tricky in here, because there's only one air defense left, which means he has no Hound for actually taking anything for him. The Slammer's coming in, and he's getting completely roasted by out of those Tesla, and we have the Black Mine over there as well. We will remember it. Which means we have the Wizard Tower, the Red Bombs are coming up, and Wizard Tower and Inferno Tower like so much splash damage onto the loons, which means even if he would have reacted faster, this would have been really close anyway. Now he's coming in with this Lalo part. Queen died from this part on, but he needs to save the 2-star as well. That's why he did not invest another rage into his Queen. Now he's using the Warden ability. Really well done on the timing over there. But it won't be a triple, because the Inferno Tower is still up, still roasting everything, and this base defended. And this is basically it. Like, I hope I was able to explain most of the traps to you guys and how you guys could not only copy the base itself, but as well if you guys are interested into base building or like building your own bases, or maybe just copy internet bases and try your own versions on the traps with them. That's maybe even better sometimes if you're not that creative in creating your own layouts. Take a layout from a popular base, change up the traps, improve the trap placement, and this is already a different base most of the time, because if there's a couple of entries which are working, you can easily defend those. I hope I was able to show you guys everything. If you guys have any further questions, feel free to do that down below in the comments, and we'll try to answer them as often as possible. And well, if I missed anything, let me know. Except that, I will see you guys in the next video. Until then, bye bye.